All right, people. Microsoft recall mandatory. Which, by the way, that's a little wild because if I remember correctly, recall watches everything you do. I also have a fear that my sound isn't going to work, so hold on. And sound is not working. Okay, hold on.
This is a video I really didn't think I was going to make. I'm on my inside computer right now, and I ran into this issue. And it has direct implications with Microsoft recall. Specifically, how Microsoft assured us that it wouldn't infiltrate regular systems. That was only for like an AI ARM-based systems with the recall or Copilot Plus chips.
By the way, for those that don't know what recall is, recall effectively, what is it? Takes a snapshot of your computer every 30 seconds, stores it somewhere. They say it doesn't store it. They say they don't store it anywhere, but by the way, I just realized I'm on top of. Anyways, apparently they don't store it anywhere, right? Oh, dang. We didn't store it anywhere, but oopsie daisies, it turns out we did. And then you can do some sort of semantic searching based on your history, which, man, this is going to lead to a lot of people being surprised about their best friend's search history. Semantic, right? And so there's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen to this. Trust me, bro, is guaranteed. I know. Remember that one time that Facebook had, they sent down that they could identify any song that was being played without having to do a search on the internet, and it included brand new songs all the time. Somehow I just started doubting that it just was making no requests at all ever. Something about the whole thing. There's a lot of these little things that creep up where you're like, really? You're doing all of this semantic everything? And you're absolutely not storing any information anywhere? Okay. Let's see. Yep, it takes a full desktop screenshot every 5 seconds, runs OCR and image recognition, stores all that into the timeline. Wow. That's a lot of storage. Definitely not being stored anywhere.
Say definitively today that was incorrect. Recall is getting installed on every single system in 24H2. More so, and this is really, really important, it is a dependency in File Explorer. That should alarm a lot of people, and I wanted to walk you through all the things that you need to do to disable it, but also the future of Windows and how we think about Windows, because it's really important that, one, if you continue using Windows in 24H2 and beyond, you disabled the recall service. But
by the way, this has always been, you guys just got to understand, this is Microsoft in a nutshell. The reason they made VS Code is because they needed to capture every single developer. That's it. That's the only reason they make these things, because they know that at some point they're going to be able to charge them. It's not because of the niceness of their heart. It's not because they really absolutely love every last person. They always do the exact same thing every single time, which is embrace, extend, extinguish. They do this 100% of the time. They create a very nice free product, and then they're going to figure out a way to monetize on top of that every single time. So, of course, recall's just installed. It's not actually running. In 1 year, that dog went from it doesn't bite to, yeah, it does bite, but it doesn't run that often, to, yeah, it does bite, it runs often, and we store your data. Every single time. They're going to do that. Just so you know, they will do this, and within a year or two, Microsoft Recall will run at all times, and there will be no way to disable it. And so this is why I think Steam needs to win. Steam needs to win and bring gaming to Linux, and Linux needs to figure this out, because within 2 years, this will be such a W if you can figure this out. That's it. Dude, it's going to be crazy. Steam, let's go, Steam. You got to do this for all of us. Literally for every person, you got to do this.
I want to show you the findings, and then you can come to whatever conclusion you want to come to, as I'm just more concerned with developing tool and making your Windows experience as good as it possibly can be. So first off, what's happening? Well, I have a micro win is what I call it, but essentially it's just the Windows deployment services, and it strips out a lot of the junk like TikTok and all these.
By the way, a micro win, it's totally normal to have a micro win, okay? It's totally normal. By the way, did he just say it strips out TikTok? Is TikTok installed on Windows by default? Is that a thing?
Hey, little dude, send your mama and daddy out of the room.
Oh, I live by myself, thanks. I don't have parents anymore.
You know who I am. Snake, dealing in weed, coke, crack, your choice.
One of each, please.
Take one hit and you'll do anything to cop more. Steal from your mama.
Hey, man, you get bit by a mosquito or something? You don't look so good.
Do I look like the kind of guy that would do that to a kid like you?
You look like a snake!
Yes!
What? What the fuck?
This is my current response to what's happening with TikTok on Microsoft. Okay, that entire experience just then was what just went through my brain the moment we just watched that. It's worse than you can imagine, buddy. I mean, TikTok definitely spies on you. That's just that. What is going on here? How much spying devices do you need on a single operating system? 5-second screenshot snapshots plus TikTok installed by default? You might as well just let them scan your rectum and get that brown eye imprint so that they can identify you no matter what. You right? Like, I mean, at this point, you're giving them everything. Just get Elon's brain chip and just give him your brain waves at this point, okay? Just give it all. Just let him have everything.
All these other garbage apps that get installed on your system when you first boot it up. And what happened was in the new update with the new ISO, as soon as users started putting them in, I started seeing these error reports going, hey, why is my Explorer reverted back to here? And started going through and go, hey, can you give me the version? Go through again. And there's something that really kind of crazy pops up. The Copilot removal is breaking new Explorer tabs. This is actually in the NT Lite changelog as well. So the NT Lite team in their changelog reported this first. And then if you continue scrolling down, I copy a lot of those same things from whether it's NT Lite or other places. I'm always looking to have the most tight, no nonsense base starting point for Windows. Well, we started looking through, and what we found was we have to leave the actual component there and then disable it after the user comes into the computer, and that will leave the folder or the file explorer the same way. Now, to kind of showcase...
This is what I'm convinced of, that most products aren't built. I'm not saying all products. There's some that are actually really well built, and they actually do quantitative and qualitative analysis to understand their user and all that and try to deliver the best possible product. But I am 100% convinced companies like Microsoft do VP down, like VP/C-suite bonus driven development, meaning that the Copilot team and the AI team, they know that they need to get everybody using it because they know that they can monetize this at some point in a really real sense. And so for them to do that, they need everybody on it. And so for them to be able to report these key metrics as more people using the product or more people have it enabled on, they are now in this, like, the realm of saying, hey, my vertical, which is the new big vertical in which everybody needs to have like the most AI ever. AI is the future. And guess what? Our future team has been able to increase installs and usage up by 1,000%, therefore bring the bonuses in. I am completely convinced that bonus-driven development by the C-suite and VP teams is purely what is happening here. There is no other reason for this. I cannot think of some. There's just what? Okay, there probably is other reasons that I don't understand, but my small P brain is just bonus-driven development. That's it.
This is a new update that we're doing. Specifically, big shout out to Coding Wonders for working so hard on making these streamlined and.
There is a potential this is overblown, in my opinion. Could just be that Explorer depends on stubbed Copilot functions for non-Snapdragon CPUs. Fair. But just want to throw this out there, low-level learning, which, by the way, I appreciate your opinion. You actually have good opinions here. But I just want to throw this out here. What happens next? Oh, it's stubbed out? Maybe we just want one enabled. Maybe we just want a little bit. What happens if we have a reduced version? Right? Dude, people always say slippery slope's a fallacy. You're wrong. Life is just one slippery slope. It's not a fallacy. Everything you do just becomes more of the thing you're doing. This is like the exact reason how this works. It's wild.
Also adding a lot more functionality. We won't have to actually select your own ISO anymore. You could actually just get it automatically from Microsoft.com, which is great.
Slippery slope is a fallacy.
And what we're doing is just a couple little bug fixes. One thing was adding remote desktop and fixing, like, obviously no longer messes up the file explorer look in 24H2. So you can see he left a bunch of samples here. But the big thing is I want to tie you to the code, things we had to do in the file change. right here is when this line kind of came in, and basically what's happening in this function is we're just saying, hey, make sure we don't strip out like NFS or search engine, remote desktop. Those features are needed, and also not recall, because those components are a mandatory necessity.
Just so I'm correct, remote desktop recently got renamed as Windows app, correct? Yeah. By the way, that's the stupidest name I've like. I just want to put this out here. Verizon bought Yahoo. For those that do not know that, they bought Yahoo. And does anybody know what they named Yahoo to? This is actually like the worst possible name you could name. What did they name Yahoo to? Does anybody know? Omen. Microsoft actually somehow figured out how to beat that. Oh man, Microsoft just beat that with Windows app. You just named it. You took a common phrase and just commandeered it, and now nobody has any idea what the hell it means. Unsearchable term. It's a bad omen. It's a bad omen. Anyways, also the whole remote desktop thing, somehow that just also feels like a backdoor to me, and it feels I'm just throwing it out there. I feel a little worried about it. I feel like Microsoft's just adding nonstop backdoors.
Necessity for the new File Explorer with tabs in 24H2. Funny thing is, it used to not be in 23H2. So that's a very interesting tidbit. What exactly is Microsoft doing on that back end? The rest of this, pretty standard, and getting a lot of this just kind of fixing, hey, if it's not installing on C drive, and some other really good bug fixes that a couple people ran into. But for the most part, MicroWin is in a fantastic state. It's officially the first year anniversary since we released that functionality from Conti, and Coding Wonders has been working really hard on it. I've occasionally stepped in, I think helped streamline it in a big PR here about a month or two ago. And Coding Wonders just kind of picked it up and really just gone wild with it. It was.
By the way, he's a very talented dev, and the man's truly trying to make Windows better and better all the time. This video is just an ad. No, it's not. It's an amazing thing that he is pointing out, which is that you have to have Copilot, then you have to disable it in whatever that disable flagging thing is for you to even run Explorer, like File Explorer. Kind of wild. It's a paid ad for you to be able to have free and open source software. Crazy. I mean, next thing you know, this man's going to start telling you about SED. Shh. Not on my watch, kids. Not on my watch, okay? I draw the line at free and open source software because you know what the next step is? Communism, okay? It literally goes free and open source software, internment camps. It's that quick. It's like that quick. I know what happens here.
Great. But I wanted to make this video just saying, hey, this is happening in Windows. Every user should know about it. And the thing that I'm more worried about is, what about all the users that don't hear about it? This recall service will be enabled. It is integrated into your File Explorer and is actively part of it. What it's doing in the background is probably the biggest and also the scariest question.
Agreed. Agreed. Chris, I don't even know why I'm not even subscribed to Christopher Titus Tech. What the heck? This is wild. This is just the craziest news that has ever existed. And the wildest part is that I don't think there was no news that I knew about it or that I saw, because I would have definitely been linked it like 1,000 times if Microsoft kind of announced, hey, we're putting Copilot more and more into the operating system. Don't worry, it's just stubbed functionality, right? Instead, they just kind of silently put it in there, told nobody, and it's being discovered like this. To me, that's kind of it looks pretty terrifying. So good on Christopher Titus Tech. Amazing stuff. If you haven't checked out his Twitch streams, you should check out his Twitch streams. He's really, really good. He actually builds some good stuff. A lot of cool Linux stuff as well. Really deep on the Linux world. So he's just a man that makes good things for operating systems. Great times. You got to check him out. Give the video a like. He's awesome. Here you go. Also give you, man, dude, look at my life now. There we go. Hey, good luck, everybody. I read an article where one of the focus groups was exposed to an OS with recall on everything full amp, and there was a massive pushback. People hated it, so I think they're just doing the boiled frog approach. Yeah, my guess is that if it's just like, the what the fuck, that one. You just need a little bit, and then once you get a little bit, you go further. I'm going to say something in this. I know this is completely tangential. Oh, slightly It's adjacent. We're going to call it adjacent. I was going over some math concepts with my kid this morning, and I realized that young kids, one thing that's very big about them is that if you give them an answer, they will just simply accept it. And that's that. They won't try to critically think through it. They just want answers. And once you give them one, they're going to want more answers. They're going to just want stuff kind of for free. And so this is like my big worry when it comes to AI is that when the answers are just for free, you don't put in all that thought. They claim it's opt-in. Well, it is opt-in. Oh, okay, so they did. Okay, so wow, I'm surprised no one saw this. Vice President, dude, oh my goodness. Called it to a T. How much do you want to bet David Weston is going to AI? Right? Okay, so I guess recall, let's see, recall's data. Let's see, Han. Recall is an opt-in experience set during the setup experience for Copilot Plus PCs. Yeah, but this isn't a Copilot Plus PC, which is that Snapdragon whatever thing. If this is any Windows Explorer, right? This is just in. That's it. From here on out, that's all there is to it. You actually have to turn it off, as we're discovering. This is not opt-in, it's opt-out. There's a difference between disabling something and enabling something. I totally get it. Enabling is one thing. Like Golang telemetry, they tried to make it opt-out, and everybody lost their crap, and now they made it opt-in, and people have largely allowed it to happen. Now, you need to have specialized hardware. Yeah, for how long? For how long? Right? I mean this in the nicest way. Until they figure out some way to be able to send you some half-assed version of the model in which takes significantly less CPU, and then they can just have that thing run, and it's not as good, but they still have it. And then they're like, oh, but if you upgrade to the new thing, then you're going to get the even better version of it all. They're like... This is how it always works. This is how it always works, is that there's like some big far off thing, okay? Oh, you're, like remember, graphics cards weren't like the standard on any PC. They were unusual. You had to go to GameStop and buy a Voodoo 4 that was like 16 inches long and hope it fit in your Hewlett-Packard PCI Express slot, or not even PCI, just standard meat and potato PCI. And that was like super unusual. Only the most gamers of the gamers did that. What was the one before PCI? Is it APG? Dude, yeah. There was one before that, right? It was like, those were the days. I mean, I'm just saying, dude, the Black Voodoo 2, I had a Voodoo 5 card, okay? Bros, I had a Voodoo 5. I played Unreal Tournament and Unreal on my Voodoo 5 graphics card that I bought by saving up money, okay? Yeah. Think about that one, tough guy. Think about that one. Yeah. How do you flex like that? Did that? Was a Voodoo 5 card? Yeah, of course. Voodoo 5 graphics. Come on, graphics card. Come on, everybody knows about that Voodoo 5. Look at this. Look how big it is. Yeah, dude, I own that. I owned that. Hold on. Measurements and dimensions. Let's see if this thing brings it up. There isn't much information about the dimensions of the Voodoo 5 here. Okay. Yeah, I had that. I had this. It was so good. Anyways, all right, well, the name. Hey, I know bros shouldn't compare. I know you shouldn't compare graphic size sound or graphics card sizes, okay? But back in the day, I'm just saying, I had a pretty big graphics card, okay? My graphics card was pretty damn big, okay? By the way, I can't wait for I do want to let you know that the end of do you know what the end of this all is going to be? This is the end. This is what's going to happen. Right? This is the future of where we're going with this type of stuff. As everything slowly becomes a subscription, you're going to have thin devices that barely do anything, and it's just going to become you don't own anything. You don't even own your operating system. It's not even communism. It's like the worst form. We're going to like live in some sort of weird, I'm not even sure what it is. It's like a monarch, right? You're just going to have kings that own everything. It's like rentalism. I'm not even sure what the term is. It's going to be weird. Anyways, I was going to say techno-feudalism, but I don't think that's quite correct. But it's close to that. It's very, very close to that. But it's more like just monarchs. Techno-feudalism sounds right, yeah. But my guess is that just due to how technology works, it's only going to just simply aggregate into like 10 people, and that's it. So it won't be like a feudalism spread out among many like dukes and stuff. It'll just be like 10 people, and that's it. They own everything. It's terrifying. Anyways, hey, the name. Sorry for that really dark note. You know, the thing is I still think programming and all these things is really great and you have a lot of potential. And I really hope that people don't take these things away as like, oh, this is the end. I actually do think that there's many, many bright spots left. I just think that you have to simply avoid some of the kind of the darker areas. One thing that I think is fantastic is that you have the right still as of right now to build any app you want, get some nice, just bare metal machines out in the cloud, deploy your server. You can own the thing pretty much straight up all the way through. You can use Cloudflare to like redirect your traffic to your own little Raspberry Pis. You could own the whole stack and the hardware and launch it yourself. You can still do all the things yourself. And to me, that is absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love that. We still have that. And I think that that is something to really think about. And there's just still so much opportunity out there. So please, absolutely do not take this as me being saying it's hopeless. That would be like the one thing I would hate to deliver is the notion or the idea that life is hopeless. I don't think it is. Jen.